Hi, my name is Dana Sardano, co-founder of FindUniquelyYou.com and Phenom Publishing. And I'm here with my girl, co-founder and creator of FindUniquelyYou.com, Phenom Publishing, all-around good gal, Miss Angela DiMarco. Hi, Angela.
Hi, Dana.
So we're here today because Angela comes to us today as a U-Instructor. And although, in my opinion, Angela could do pretty much everything, her greatest strengths lie in branding and marketing and graphic design and website design and all things designy to make the digital look beautiful. Not to go off on a tangent, but she's got incredible artistic abilities in other realms. But we are here in a virtual community, so we're gonna focus. So,
Okay.
Angela, what I wanted to ask you is you're doing a few different workshops, and you're even offering some events in the event center. But I want to talk about your workshops a little bit, and I want to talk about your background, your experience, why you have chosen to present what you're presenting. So let's start with the branding workshop. Tell us a little bit about the why behind that.
Okay. So I am a 25-year career veteran in marketing and advertising industry. I was a creative director for the latter part of 10 years. And whether I had my own shop or I sat in as an executive creative director for different businesses, for smaller shops. And from going, my career started as like direct mail production design assistant. And it moved on through direct mail and digital direct advertising. And then that was like kind of like where I left off. But the one thing that I loved was getting into like the why of a client, like why we were doing the work we were doing. And what I hated about the big agencies was I was handed a brief. I wasn't a part of the brief or the client conversations. They were like, we need a direct mail piece that hits this market. Like it had all the stats. And I would just design to that. And it felt so limiting. And then once I realized having the conversation with the owners of these brands, we got so much deeper. It got so much richer. The creative became so much more valuable when I understood their why and their passion. And that led me into my passion for branding. And everything I do, whether it's a poster, a car wrap, a website design, anything I do, the brand is infused. And the brand is not just like your logo and what things look like. The brand is like why somebody does what they're doing. What's their purpose? Simon Sinek, he's like a guy out there who does like a lot of brilliant stuff. He's a brilliant mind. He always says people don't remember, and I'm going to butcher it, people don't remember what you do. They remember why you do it. And they remember how you make it, how they make you feel. They may not remember the words. I forget. I'm totally butchering it. But I always believed in that because, as you always say, energy doesn't lie, right? So if I'm presenting something that's inauthentic, then no one's going to connect with my brand because they're not going to connect with me. So I just really love doing that digging on who people are and why, what makes them tick and what their purpose is and why they're doing it. And I love asking those questions. And it's almost like a mini therapy session whenever we do this. So I brought a workshop when I was coming up with the idea for Uniquely You. I did a beta workshop just to test it, test the waters. Got about 18 friends signing up, and they met me for 4 Tuesdays, Tuesday evenings. And we talked about, well, how do you discover your purpose? What are your core values? And I called it brand DNA because it was like under the surface stuff. And the interactions that they had with each other were magical, and the revelations that they had about themselves were game changing because they were like, wait, maybe I don't want to do it that way. Maybe oh, this is why I'm doing it. Oh yeah, and then all of a sudden they found their voice, and it gives them confidence. And I just love helping people discover that. So I bring that to, I'm just keeping that going, keeping that going for everybody because it's such a cool experience.
You know what I love about this workshop? Also, the website workshop, which we'll talk about, but they're in the school of Thrivelihood, to help people, create lives, especially, along their career path, to the lives they desire. But they appear in Thrivelyhood, but really they're personal development because you're teaching brand DNA. You're teaching, create your own website, but you have to understand who you are and your why and where you're going to do that. And I got to tell you, your magic, and especially with Phenom, right? So with Phenom, Angela is all things creative, right? She just does the cover design, she's doing the formatting, everything creative to make the book a beautiful visual piece of art. And I'm all things words, right? So, I'm the copy and all that. But what Angela has the ability to do, and again, I think that we overlook this, like as being important. She has the ability to thinking of an Always Sunny in Philadelphia reference, to see into your soul. She truly has the ability to connect with an individual, to see them, and to help them see themselves and bring that to the surface. So she could do that in the empowerment and even in metaphysics, even in Takes a Village, but she's doing it in Thrivelyhood because she's helping people connect that part of themselves to the business aspect of their lives. And on a personal note, Angela right now is working on my website. And she's working on it. She's helping it look like a website, not just me with a crayon trying to, come look at my stuff. But but she had the ability to see me, and she's got a strategy, and she's got a format in what she does, and this is what she brings to her website. She's got forms to fill out and questions she asks and helps people, in this case me, look at myself and ask myself the correct questions in order to bring it to fruition and to be the best version of myself in digital form. And so for that, man, I applaud you. You really, really, you're a wizard. I'm trying to think of all the words. I'm like,
I mean, keep saying nice things. More, mommy.
But no, it really is your special skill. Not that you don't have others, but your special skill to see somebody, help them see themselves, and then bring it to the format that they want. So with that said, a nice transition into, tell us about your website workshop.
So I have built massive websites for companies. I am not a developer. That's a whole other art. That's a whole other gift. And I made the conscious decision to not learn how to do development because I want to feel the magic too. Like when somebody takes my design and makes it interactive, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so yay. So I have always chosen the front end design, which makes sense because the front end is the brand, right? And the user experience. So in taking all of my experience in building massive websites myself, whether it's like the page makers, I've made websites for family, for friends. I'm working on yours, using the things that are out there like Squarespace. But a website is not just, let me go to Squarespace and start plugging in stuff. So much has to happen before you even get to be on the computer, before you even reserve your URL. There's so many things that you need to think about. So I basically teach people my process of what I did. Like we have a brand Mad Libs that you have to answer all the questions, and you've got to think about what your website really is about. Like, what do you want people to do when they get there? What's out there that you like and don't like? And we do like a whole thing before you even get to the computer. Planning, organizing, wireframing, like what all of these things mean and why they're important. And we basically create a roadmap for you to go take and build your website. I don't sit here and do it with you, but I give you the tools, I give you the support. And, we have it so that the first day is like learning, education, getting into your brand. The second day is getting into your user experience. And then you come back a week later with your homepage and we kind of like talk about it and answer questions. So I think it's super helpful. It's not magic, it may look like magic, but with just knowing the right questions to ask, but it's helpful, I think.
To people like me, it looks like magic. I have to say, here's my testimonial, my Angela DiMarco website, blah, blah, testimonial, okay? gives us a sheet and says, okay, answer this question. Yeah, it's like Mad Libs. I do such and such when I, whatever, So I'm filling this thing in. And then she's like, okay, this is your why, this is your purpose, this is your mission, without even me knowing that I'm answering these questions for that. So then she does the whole wireframe for me. And it looks like a beautiful mind. It's just like squares and arrows and all sorts of craziness. And she puts little stars at where I'm supposed to put my write-ups. And I look and I'm like, oh, that goes there, that goes there, so something, it was crazy. And I was like, it took me like 15 minutes. I was like, oh my God, look how smart I am. No, it was well organized and well orchestrated and well conceived by Angela. So I share this because if I was creating my website, even before I would have to go to a developer or designer, whatever the hell you call them, to have that information to save me money. So I could just be like, here's my stuff, you know what I mean, is really a big deal. And the fact that this is your first priority, but the fact that you have the ability to then also plug it in for somebody as a service is
that's an awesome point, Dane, because this, like you said, if you're going to hire a developer or you're going to hire a designer off Fiverr or wherever you're going to find them, they're all very talented people out there, but they're going to have the same kind of question. They're going to be, well, do you like this? Do you like that? And if you give them this architecture, here's the plans, here are the plans, here are the copy, here are the pictures, plug it in. This is what my brand looks like. These are my colors. This is the style font I want. You give them, it makes their job so much easier. They can do what they're really good at, designing based on a plan. So by taking the workshop with me, you're saving literally thousands of dollars. Because if I were to do a website for you, right, and you were just someone off the street and you're like, hey, can you do my website? I would charge you $4,000 or $5,000 because that's how long it takes me, to actually do the plugging in, putting all of your artwork in. Geez Louise, you have a lot of art.
I know, when I gave it to you, I was like,
I know, but because there was a plan, it's, you know what I mean? And so if I didn't have to do all that planning up front, which was a lot of work, and that was based on my expertise, that's like $2,000 or $3,000 of that budget right there. So you could you take this workshop for a couple $100, figure it all out yourself, have me as a resource. And then, I also do the design. I work with developers. I designed our app, our finduniquelyu.com. This is my jam. Yeah. So, yeah.
And what's also another benefit to your workshops, or I guess an addition to your workshops, is we talked about my workshops. My workshops are based on my books, right? Wrote a book, I created a workshop. I wrote a book, created a workshop. And the platform is based for content contributors and how we could create workshops based on their content. And so you have the content in the background of creating these websites, of being, in branding and marketing for 25 years, but you've also written a book. And you wrote, in your book, the Bright-Eyed Entrepreneur, but Update 52, based on the first year and a half of emails sent out to your people as you were creating this platform. So you take pieces of that book and also apply it. So even though the workshops aren't based on the book, there are components of the book that are in these workshops as well. Would you agree with that?
Totally. And the reason why I love the brand workshop, we talk about, you'll see in all my emails, the whole process of planning for it, renting the office, dragging my computer, like the whole thing, and the outcome of it. And so that's kind of like our where the foundation was. So I love to bring that and have that be a taste of it. So we discuss it in the book and we discuss it here. But as you were saying, it's all about the personal development. Everything that I do is a reflection of personal development, even my book. So my book, I'm talking about being an entrepreneur and starting a business, and some of it's a little cringy, I have to admit, because I'm like, yay, I'm going to make all these first-time mistakes in front of everybody.
For the whole world to see.
I promise I've learned from it for anybody listening. that everything that I do is all about the open authenticity and personal development. So it is all kind of tied together and synergistic. So
Very cool. Very cool.
yeah.
Miss Angela, um, before we close, do you have any advice or pearls of wisdom for anybody who would be interested in taking one of your workshops?
Yes. Take it. Just take it. Like, to give yourself this gift, because when you feel empowered in your own brand, and you have like this purpose, you know you want to do something with all of your heart, but you're not quite sure how to get there. Take my workshops, because they're a really fast track to help you know you and be excited and level up. So I highly recommend it. Highly recommend.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. And
Thank
if
you.
anybody who gets a hold of this video, I'm not sure where you'll see it other than the platform. But if you have any questions about, who either of us are, what we do, anything about Phenom Publishing, finduniquelyu.com, any of the books, anything, feel free, contact us. Dana at finduniquelyu.com, Angela at finduniquelyu.com. We are always, always happy to connect and look forward to meeting you. So with that said, thank you. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you, Miss Dana. You're a wonderful host.
Oh, it's my pleasure.